One. Hey everybody, happy Thursday. How are you? What's going on in your part of the world? My name is Lisa Mustard and today I have a very, very special guest for you. This lady is going to knock your socks off with some amazing knowledge and wisdom, and I'm so super excited to have her join us in just a minute. But as we wait for her to join, go ahead and if you are catching the live, go ahead and write the word live below. If you're catching the replay, go ahead and type in a replay below because we want to know who we're talking to. So as I wait for Sarah to hop on, I want to ask you all a question. Is your goal to lose weight? Actually, is your goal to lose body fat? I don't really want to lose weight. I want to lose body fat, right? I want to lose body fat. If your goal is to lose body fat and you're not losing it, then this is definitely for you. Every single day, I get messages in my inbox on private messenger asking me, why am I not losing the body fat? I'm doing everything right. I am eating out. I'm doing everything right. And the body fat will not go away. Sarah, hey girl.
Hello!
Yay!
Yay! Our
Here.
first live.
I know,
All right,
we're
keep
doing
going,
it.
girl. Keep going. I know you were in the middle of talking.
So what I was just saying was I was asking the question, are you doing everything right and you're not losing the body fat? You know, I was saying, and I know you probably get messages every day in your inbox with people pouring their heart out to you. They are at their wits' end. They're like, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing the workouts and the body fat is not budging. I look in the mirror and I know I can shed that fat if I can just get it right. Okay, I'm going to fall over.
Yep.
So I'm so excited to have you on here today because in my mind, and I want to tell everybody how I met you. I met you in Fit Body.
Yep.
If you guys are not in our Fit Body group yet, and you're probably not because we're just getting things rolling, then I hope you will think about Fit Body. Reach out to me or Sarah. We can send you some information about Fit Body. But I saw Sarah present on this topic like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, first of all, I was like, she's like my new BFF. I love this woman. And second of all, you're so knowledgeable. And I just thought like, a lot of what you talk about is what I talk about with people in private messenger. So I wanted to bring you on today because I truly believe third-party validation, having another person, another expert in the field, give that information maybe in a different voice. And you're going to say some things that I might not have heard, may not know, as well as the audiences are different. So I'm sharing with your audience, you're sharing with mine. And so my audience can hear from another person preaching the same, I don't know, sermon, but just getting it from a different perspective. So if you would come on, like tell everybody who you are, what you do, all that good stuff.
Well, sure. My name's Sarah and my company is Body Balance by Sarah. So I am an exercise physiologist by education, and I became a personal trainer when I was 19 in college. And just like everyone else, I have been through the gamut with trying different meal plans, trying different exercise plans, reading books, and listening to my favorite fitness people and doing what they said that they would do. Like, hey, this is the way, if you do what I do, then you're going to look the way that I look. And then I did it. And I'm like, well, why don't I look the same way? So I've been through everything, and through training my clients, I've seen different body types. I've tried different things with them. I've seen what works, what doesn't work, but basically it just comes down to science. We'll get into all that jazz here in a second. But so I was a cardiac exercise physiologist for about 9 years, doing my personal training and nutrition as a side job. Then I got a website together, and I realized my passion is in educating people, teaching people. And, I love personal training, but the education side of it is really my passion, because the more that I dive into the science, and I learned that it just comes down to learning how the body functions and, what we can do naturally to help our body. And we don't have to load our system with all these outside factors right off the bat. I just feel the need to tell people and teach people what is real, what works. And even earlier today, I like to hop on YouTube from time to time, and I typed in something about human growth hormone, because we're going to hit on that today, and ways to increase it. And I just was blown away by how many people were out there. You got and I hate to say meatheads, because some people may look at me and they're like, oh, look at those arms. She's a meathead girl. But, there's so many people out there telling you something completely different. Every video It was like, hey, eat multiple meals a day for fat burning and metabolism, you know, elevation, and only eat one meal a day. And eat these type of foods, don't eat but everyone is telling you something different. And that's why my heart, you know, like you said, your heart goes out to these people that are struggling, because at least you and I have the knowledge and we're kind of in a maintenance zone, if you will. But those people that haven't reached that point, you know, they're reaching out to so many people for their information, and their mind is probably blown away, not in a good way, you know, because they don't know what to do. So yeah, that's basically where I'm coming from. I do the nutrition, exercise, I do it all, and just try to teach a healthy balance, and not any extreme diet plan, any extreme supplement plan, anything too far-fetched to where they can't maintain it.
Right. I love it. And everything you said, I'm nodding my head in agreement. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've looked to the experts. I've read the magazines. I've Googled everything. I feel like I've tried everything under the sun when it comes to nutrition and workouts, and figuring out what works best for my body type, my age, and what my goals are. And so it's really hard when somebody in private messages me and says, hey, I'm trying to lose body fat and it's not working. I'm like, you know, there's so many questions that go through my head. Like, it's almost like, at least a 45-minute assessment on the phone with people, because you have to know where people have been, where they want to go, and more about like their metabolism and what works for them, and their stress level and their sleeping. And, you know, it's not just like lower your calories and go exercise. It's not that simple, especially for us women as we get older. I'm hearing a lot from older women. And when I say older, I mean, like, I'm 44, so I talk to women like 35 and up who are, you know, looking to get into the shape. So let's just dive right into it. If you guys are excited, give us some hearts, give us some likes. If you want to share this to your wall, please do. Please use generic information. Let's help women lose the body fat and feel good in their skin. So okay, so the first question. Men too. We don't want to forget about the dudes out there. If you're a dude, you're welcome to watch this.
That's right.
Exactly. Okay. So the first question I want to talk to you about is like, if you're stuck in a rut, if you've hit a plateau and you're not seeing the number on the scale or seeing go down, or you're not seeing shifts in the mirror, like your body isn't changing, if your pant sizes aren't going down, what are the couple things that you are going to review with your clients?
Sure. So like you said, I always ask them for like a 6 month to a year history. And I ask them 3 main questions. I need to know everything you're doing exercise wise. So that includes cardio, resistance training, if there is any, you know, what type of cardio are you doing? High intensity interval training? Are you doing steady state cardio? What time frame, how many days a week, all of that. I want to know everything they're doing exercise wise. Number 2, I want to know what foods you're putting in your body, but not only what foods, the timing of the day and how many meals a day. You know, I ask for their schedule, and you tell me like what time you wake up, when your first meal is, second, third, if you only eat 2, 6, give me every bit of information. Number 3, what is your sleep like? You know, are you sleeping? I mean, because I'm not going to dive so much into sleep today, but sleep is the third very important factor. But if you're not getting at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep, your cortisol levels are elevated, your human growth hormone is all out of whack. So those 2 things, those key things really affect metabolism. So a lot of people neglect the sleep aspect of it, but that is another, you know, factor that I consider. And it's so funny because people will say, okay, I've been doing this. I do everything right. I'm eating healthy foods. I know I am. I've met with a nutritionist. I've done this or whatever. And they've been doing the same thing. And obviously, what's the definition of insanity? You do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome, and it's not going to happen. So we need to do something to the body. We need to tweak the body. But ultimately, it's finding what's going on hormonally in your body. And I'm trying to think back to what, you know, okay, so do you want me to just dive into the main things with resistance training and all that?
Go for it.
Okay.
Just go. Take it away.
So, okay. So if the one thing that people, if they do change anything about their plan. So, okay, Sarah, I was doing 3 days of resistance training. I was doing 3 days of cardio. So I'm eating all the healthy foods. I can't lose weight. So what I did, I took away my resistance training, and now I'm only like lifting 1 day a week, and I started upping that cardio, and I am just sweating every day. I am on that treadmill 5 hours a day, and I'm at my wit's end. I don't know why I can't lose weight. Okay, that is the problem. Okay, let's be honest, that's the problem.
Right.
When you're doing steady state cardio, your cortisol levels again are elevated, which means we're not going to be able to efficiently burn fat, and our metabolism is affected. You're wasting a lot of time. I mean, a lot of time. Hey, Erica, how are you? Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. I know there's a few of you, and you're probably in the middle of your workday, so thank you so much. Everyone watching on replay, go ahead and type in replay. We want to answer your questions after the fact. So you're wasting a lot of time. Cortisol levels are elevated. You're not increasing lean muscle mass. So the problem there is that you're not going to be able to have efficiency in the afterburn area. Okay, so let's say we run every day. We're running on the treadmill. We're training for a marathon. Okay, there's different times and places for everything. If you're training for a marathon, you obviously need to do steady state cardio and a lot of running. But it's not going to be a good way to up that metabolism, let's be honest. Right. So if you're running, you're burning calories. You may be able to burn, 500, 1,000 calories if you're running all day during that time. But the afterburn effect, so EPOC, the excess oxygen post consumption, it's basically trying to get our body back to our resting state. So that's when you continue burning calories after the fact. But when you're doing steady state, you're only going to have that afterburn for like a few minutes to maybe an hour after. When you're resistance training, when you're lifting heavy weights, that afterburn is going to last. It could last even up to 2 days sometimes, right, depending on what you're doing. If you're lifting some heavy weight and you're really busting it in the gym, 2 days after. So you're burning calories during, you're burning calories after, and you are creating and making lean muscle mass, which ultimately is what burns fat. I mean, people that are doing tons of cardio, you're not building muscle, which means fat doesn't burn fat, people. So you could be, that's when you have the skinny fats. And people will admit, they're like, I'm skinny, but I'm skinny fat. That's why, because lean muscle mass is what burns fat. So people need to stop being so afraid of picking up the weights, because that's the only way to increase the muscle mass. And ultimately, when we do that, we are boosting our human growth hormone. So if you guys aren't familiar with human growth hormone, I mean, it is like everything: bone density, immune health, fat burning hormone. I mean, the anti-aging hormone. There is a list of like 10 things that you can read up on human growth hormone, or HGH, aids in. And so many people, like, I don't want to say men always do this, but a lot of people just know that their HGH is low. And so it does. When we're young, when we're newborns, our body, it creates human growth hormone naturally. And it's high as a child because we need that as we grow. As we get older, it does go down a bit. And that's normal to a certain degree, but we also need to do things naturally to make sure that it is up to par and our body is functioning efficiently. And that is a huge way to do it, is through resistance training. And so not only are you going to boost your metabolism, you're going to be able to burn tons of calories, tons of fat after your resistance training. You're going to look better. Let's be honest. I mean, Lisa, you and I have a good amount of muscle mass. We've been doing this for a long time.
Right.
Not every woman wants to look like us. Some women have told me, and some men have even told me, like, you have a little bit too much muscle. Like, I don't know. I would like watch out. You might become looking manly. And you know what? To each their own. Like, if we look manly, then we look manly. But it's allowing us to be fat burning machines. That's what it's all about, is to find ways to become more efficient and becoming the fat burning machines that we want to. So that's my take. What do you feel about resistance training, cardio? Like, what do you find? Do you find that a lot of people have success with cardio? Oh, and I want to know how much cardio you actually do in a week.
Sure. Okay. So, that's a good question. So many moons ago, I ran and thought that was like the holy grail of getting your body back after babies. And let me tell you, that just made me fatter. And I don't mean fatter in like, I put on 30 pounds. It just made me like skinny fat, like pudgy and
Yeah.
soft. And I'm just going to put it out there. Like, I love muscle. I want to have all the muscle. I don't care if someone thinks I'm too muscular. That's actually kind of like, all right,
That's
you know, I'm good with that. As long
right.
as my
Everyone
husband finds me attractive, and my husband, and my husband loves my muscle. So that's all that matters. And my husband, and you know, another thing too that's important for people to know is that my husband and I, that's how we got to know each other. We met in a CPR class, and then we started working out together for many, many years. Like, we would go to the gym together. Like, that was our get to know. He was a personal trainer. So my husband, if you were to meet Billy, like, he wants all the muscle possible. Like, he loves going to the gym. He works out like a beast. Like, that's just who we are. Like, people like us do things like this. So if we are not your cup of tea, then that's fine. You can go talk to other people. But all right. So yes, the sweet spot for me is lifting. Well, many moons ago, I would be in the gym like 5 days a week in my late 20s. And that's really where I added the muscle. It's really when I added the mass was in my probably late 20s. I'm 44, and Billy and I were just talking about this last night, that at my age, I'm really just working on retaining and maintaining muscle. Like, I would love to add more muscle, but my life, hey guys, thanks for being here. My life and my lifestyle, I just can't be in the gym 5 days a week. I hit the gym at the most 3 days a week, but I lift heavy for me. Okay.
Yep.
And like yesterday, I threw a new stimulus at my body. Okay. Because it's important. You were talking about if we're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Yeah. Definition of insanity. So I event like every 2 weeks, we'll do like a new workout. So I did this tire workout yesterday where I was jumping on the tire and I was hitting with a sledgehammer, and I was doing these toe taps and doing box jumps. And I am so sore today. Like, I'm feeling muscles in my back I didn't even know existed. So that's a good sign, right? Okay. And so for cardio, I do all right, let me back it up. I've just started doing Peloton workouts. I love the 20-minute HIIT workouts on Peloton. They're like my new thing. I love it. It's just like my new thing. And then on top of that, I just walk. I walk 3 to 4 days a week, leisurely walks. I'm not power walking. I'm not jogging. I am just walking. And what happened for me was last summer, I had a knee injury and I couldn't run anymore. And I said, okay, well, I'm just going to go out and walk. And I lost more body fat in my lower body. So I was onto something right there. It was like a self-experimentation that I wasn't expecting. Okay. So I want you to address the idea of boot camps, because boot camps drive me bananas. Women that I talk to seem to think that boot camp is the holy grail of adding muscle and burning fat and leaning out, when I believe boot camp should only be done 2 to 3 days a week. I do not think you should be boot camping every single day. That's my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents. What do you think?
Yep. I totally agree. I teach a boot camp every Saturday morning. And I have a lot of clients that do it, and they kind of use it as their bonus day or their cardio day. It's not like a heavy lifting day. So I tell them, you still got to do like ideally 3 days of resistance training, and this is your 4th day. So, but yeah, people, I mean, I see the same people, and either they're going to the same boot camps or the same high intensity interval training classes. Not that they're not great classes for calorie burn, but if they're not having those additional days of doing some heavy pushing of weight, they're not going to activate that human growth hormone. They're not going to have that afterburn effect. And their body, it's just, you can tell it's a different type of look when you see someone that's just killing the boot camps, killing those classes, killing the cardio, and really their body does not change. I mean, you look at the same people that do the same thing and they are not doing the resistance, they never change. I mean, I'm talking years later, and I'm looking at the same people. I just saw some girl at on the treadmill today at the gym, and bless her heart, you know, I mean, something is better than nothing, yes, but she's walking maybe on a 3% incline at 3.0. She had 1 pound dumbbells, and she was my age. I mean, maybe she was recovering from something, but I see her doing this every day, and she's just very lackadaisical in her movements. And I'm thinking, I mean, if that's all you can put forth, great. But if you're trying to transform your body and you want to become a fat burning machine, that is, I'm sorry to say, but it's somewhat of a waste of your time. It is. So same thing with boot camps. If you're harping on, oh, that's the only thing that makes me really work up a sweat. Well, Lisa, I don't know about you. I mean, I sweat when I do cardio, when I do lower body. But when I'm doing upper body, I mean, I don't sweat too much, but I still am working pretty darn hard. You don't have to be doing hot yoga every day and dripping in a puddle of sweat in order to get a good workout in. I mean, you don't.
Right.
So,
right.
No, I agree with you.
No, I totally agree with you. And I think that it's like there's so much information out there and there's so many options, and people just are an overload as to what really works. And so I want to stress it over and over again. Everything you're saying is what works. What works? Yeah. What works is lifting heavy, as heavy that for you at your ability, the a couple days of the high intensity. And you even said this on somewhere, and it just resonated with me. You're like, if you're doing HIIT workouts, you want to almost be an exercise induced asthma. Like you want to be like, you can't go more than 20 minutes. And I hear people go, oh, I did a HIIT workout for 40 minutes. I'm like, well, that wasn't HIIT. Like, no, that was just a boot camp. You may have done HIIT intervals.
Talking on the phone while they're doing it.
Right, right. So, yeah, you can't talk to each other if you're doing HIIT correctly. You cannot talk to each other. You can't breathe almost. You almost feel like you need an inhaler.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, yes. Yeah. And so, but I think we get it into our minds that the more, the sweatier, the greasier, the better. But like you said, right. Missy, you are so funny. Thanks you guys for being here. These comments are like priceless. Okay. Yes. So you know what? I know I wanted to talk a little bit to you, and I appreciate everybody hanging out. I wanted to talk to you. Say it again.
Oh, I just said we'll respond to the comments after. But go ahead. I think our time is a little bit off. Go ahead.
Oh. Okay. I'll just give it a second. I'm so excited. We're messing up the Wi-Fi. We're causing our own electric sparks over here.
They're going crazy. I think we're good.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about, so I think we're good. So let's talk about intermittent fasting, and go over just a little bit about intermittent fasting that you shared in FitBody.
Okay. So intermittent fasting is something that I did not know much about up until about a year and a half ago. And I started researching and hearing more and more about it while I was pregnant. So of course, I was not going to embark on that journey. And again, I have done this for so long. I've had the right foods, the proper nutrition. I always preach low glycemic nutrition, which basically it's all about keeping blood sugar balanced, which means keeping our insulin levels low. So if you guys are not familiar with the whole glycemic index and insulin resistance and things like that, when we eat a food, let's say it's a bad food, it's white bread, it's candy, we eat the food, it's digested very quickly, it spikes up our blood sugar, which means the pancreas releases insulin in order to bring that blood sugar back down to baseline. Well, when we have bad diets, so high carbs, high crap foods, high glycemic foods, we have this up and down with our blood sugar. Well, ultimately, insulin stays elevated because the receptors of the cells aren't firing properly. Okay, so I'm just going to try to make it as simplified as possible. So we have an issue with our cells signaling with the pancreas. So the pancreas is all like confused, so it keeps shooting out more and more insulin. Insulin levels stay elevated, so we eventually have insulin resistance. When we are in the presence of insulin, we are not able to burn fat. So we are in a fat storage zone, not a fat burning zone. So this is obviously a problem if we're trying to lose weight, we're trying to boost our metabolism. And years ago, I always thought, okay, the best, most efficient way to increase metabolism when it comes to diet is to eat multiple meals a day. And, you wake up, boom, first thing you got to do, get your butt in the kitchen, eat meal one. Number two, second meal is within 2.5, 3 hours later. Then same thing, 6 meals, 7 sometimes is even better, And I think I didn't notice it myself because I've always been eating the proper foods, low glycemic nutrition. I've never been one that needed to lose weight. So for me, it was a good way. I like eating that way. And, to be honest with you, I will probably eat that way a lot, but it's because I am not insulin resistant. I am not storing fat. I am not having all these other issues. So we need to find where you are at from the start. You know what I'm talking about? So it's all relative,
Right.
And for those of you that are watching this that are trying to figure out how to become a metabolic machine, a fat burning machine, you're probably having some slight insulin resistance problems, and that's making it an issue. So, and those people that you say are inboxing me, and they are at their wit's end, I'm eating the proper foods. Okay. So if you are eating the proper foods and they tell me, Sarah, I'm eating all the low glycemic foods that you tell me, I'm eating multiple meals a day. Well, now there's this thing called intermittent fasting. Now, I did not know about this a while ago, and there's tons of stuff out there, obviously, but you want to get your information from a source that understands the science of the body, not just a big bodybuilder that's like, hey, man, eat one meal a day and fast for 24 hours. And so ultimately, the whole goal is to influence our hormones in a beneficial way in order to become a fat burning machine. That's ultimately the goal with intermittent fasting. So they've realized that every time we eat, even if we're eating low glycemic foods, we're eating healthy foods, every single time we put food in our body, it impacts our blood sugar. We have an insulin spike because of the gastric enzymes digesting the food. So I didn't know that before, and I'll come out with it like I was wrong. I thought the more often that you eat, the better. You're becoming a machine. Well, that's false. And now they've realized that even if you are consuming the best of the best, you still have slight increases in insulin, which means we want to minimize the insulin spikes. So what do? We minimize the amount of times that we eat in a day, and we shorten that eating window. So with intermittent fasting, there's different plans, if you will, and it's not a diet. A lot of people are like, Sarah, I can't do that. That's restricting calories. And to be honest with you, that's not the goal. You should be consuming the same amount of calories for your body weight, but it's just shortened and clumped together in 2 to 3 meals. You can do a 6-hour eating window, so 6 on, 18 fasting, or you can flip flop and do 8 on and the reverse. So it's all, I'm trying to get my thoughts together to simplify everything, but let's say, okay, so they've realized that the most beneficial thing to do if you are wanting to do this plan is to wake up in the morning and you fast. And if you can ideally work out in the morning, that's what you want to do. Hey, John's food in that first meal to get your calorie content. And we still need to make sure that we are consuming the proper foods, good, healthy, high fats. And by high fats, I mean, you want to make sure you're consuming a good amount of fat, because that's the only thing that's going to help you stay satisfied during this short eating window. But low glycemic foods, a lot of people say, oh my gosh, it's over. If you combine a keto diet with intermittent fasting, and you're doing resistance training, your HGH levels are going to be sky high, and you're going to be a fat burning machine. Now, because I'm all about balance, I honestly don't promote keto because it's not maintainable. If you're doing it for a short-term fix, that is great. And that's actually what I forgot to say before with this. This is not a diet. It's not something you have to maintain forever. It's a technique. So this is a technique you can use for about 30 days to reset, to recalibrate your metabolism and to kind of reset your set point. And then your hormones are all back to a healthy level. Everything in your body's functioning properly. And then we can get back to eating, maybe 4 or 5 meals in a day, still eating the healthy foods. But it's a technique, and it's a technique that does such wonders for our insulin levels, and for ghrelin, leptin. Those are our hunger hormones. So it has a very, very huge impact on those. So it shuts off the hunger hormone after a while, and you're not hungry the way that you are when you're eating 6 meals a day. So you're eating fewer meals. You are satisfied because the receptors are functioning properly, and our brain is signaling to the stomach properly. So we're not feeling like we got to keep eating. And the human growth hormone is sky high. I think it's something for women. If you're doing intermittent fasting, women's human growth hormone can increase by up to 1,300%. For men, it's 2,000%. Crazy. And so that's like a fat burning machine, like on steroids, literally.
Mm-hmm.
And people use human growth hormone as a steroid, but we can do it naturally, which is amazing. So intermittent fasting is just something to try. If you guys have not, and just think about it, you don't have to wake up and until the next afternoon, and then you start again. So, and yeah, I've had a couple clients that never thought they could do it, never thought that they would even be interested. And I'm telling you what, it is incredible. Every day I get a text from them saying, oh my gosh, I'm down another pound from yesterday. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. And it's so easy. And I'm not even hungry anymore. So I cannot say enough about intermittent fasting. And I'll get into this later, but I'm actually going to start doing it myself for the very first time on March 1st. So I'm pretty stoked about it. Yes.
Awesome. So I think we had a couple questions come in because something was going on with the feed, and I think we kind of like, I think we may have but it's fine because all this information is so spot on. I'm going to try to, so how long do you wait to eat until the morning? Well, since Sarah is not doing intermittent fasting yet, I will talk to you about that. I like a fast of 8 p.m. at night. I stop eating by 8 p.m. and then I go until noon the next day. And I do this probably 3-4 days a week. And then I usually break my fast with a shake because I'm on the go and I'm busy, and the shakes that I prefer have everything. They're a full meal replacement. So I usually break my fast with that, and I'll have a big salad with it. And then like 2 hours later, I'll have a snack that's around 100 calories because you guys, I'm 5'1". Okay. I think that's important too. If your height, you need to know like your body frame, like how many calories you need to be eating based around your body frame and some other factors. But I'll just kind of eat normal. I'll eat the right amount of calories for me in that 8-hour window. And sometimes I'll eat more just depending on if I've lifted that day. And I do work out early in the morning. I have learned my body can handle it now. In the beginning, it was hard. I would wake up and I would be like, I was kind of woozy, but I got accustomed to working out on a fasted state. So now I don't even notice any issues. I don't have any problems with it at all. Now my husband has started some intermittent fasting. He prefers the 10. He has his first meal at 10 because he is a hungry beast. And he's really grouchy, and he's like 6'3" and he weighs 215 and he needs a ton more calories. So he kind of opens up his window a little bit longer. And y'all, I can't keep enough food in the house for him. So it really just, you have to, and here's the thing, everybody's going to message us afterwards and say, well, tell me, what do I do? What do I do? I'm like, you guys have to honestly play around with it. Be your own detective in something like this, because I can tell you what works for me. I can give you some ideas, but if you try it and 2 days later, you're like, it's not working. BS. You haven't given it a long enough time to see if it's going to work. When you start this, you need to give it at least 2 weeks. And if you're coming at me at 2 weeks, I'm going to say, no, give it 2 more weeks. When I first started it, I noticed results. Like I could like instantly, I felt better. Bloating went away. My energy kicked in a couple days later, but I can tell you at about 6 weeks, I was like, oh my gosh, this is working. And that's when I lost the very first pant size. So it's not, people think weight loss should be an overnight quick fix in 30 days. It's not like that, y'all. It is a long-term thinking. It is a long-term approach. You have to assess and reassess every couple of weeks, throw a new stimulus at it, take a look at your workouts. It's not as easy as, oh, it's not working, so I'm just going to go over here to this other program. You're not helping yourself if you don't become your own self-detective. What do you think about that?
No, absolutely. Everyone's looking for a quick fix. Everyone wants to buy the supplement that's going to like help them overnight. And, supplements are great, but we need to look at what we are doing that we can get our body revved up naturally. And people do not give it time. You're not going to affect your hormones overnight, and everything, the system is not going to change within 1 week. It will start to, but you need to give it a few weeks. And you know, people may look at you and I and they're like, oh, it comes easy for them. Well, no, we did not just start this yesterday. We did not look like
Right.
this, you know, when we first started.
4 years.
It took some time.
Right.
Yeah, it took some time. And so, yeah, people
Mm-hmm.
just need to be patient. I know we live in a society, it's like self-gratifying, like, and right away. But that is the key. I mean, I tell people, give it a month before you make any kind of, you know, drastic assumptions about it not working, or that, you know, this is just not an effective program or whatever it is. So,
Right.
yeah, it takes time for everything to shift in your body.
Right,
Sure.
totally. I'm going to see if there's any more questions. I feel like if y'all have any questions, go ahead and drop them below. So do we? Go ahead.
So Lisa, so one thing, you see me sipping on my water. This is actually the jug that I got when I was in the hospital and I had my daughter. But it's like the easiest thing ever. So that is one thing that I want to hit on with intermittent fasting. We feel like we're hungry. A lot of times, people that are just living life, you know, maybe they're not doing intermittent fasting. We're hungry. We need to eat. We're hungry. We need to eat. 9 times out of 10, we are just thirsty, and that's like the brain playing tricks on us. So that is like a suggestion to anyone, even if you're not going to do intermittent fasting. When you feel hungry, just have a glass of water, or, you know, put in some naturally sweetened, maybe some stevia, some lemon juice, something like that. Drink 8 ounces, and then that is going to satisfy you. That's another tip that they're going to tell you when you're doing intermittent fasting. You can have certain things in between. They have to be very, very low calorie, like coffee, but water is crucial and to kind of helping you get through those periods where you feel so hungry. It helps prolong that. And then, like I said, with the leptin and the ghrelin and everything getting tweaked, eventually it shuts off those hunger hormones. So everything's golden after that.
Right. Right. That's awesome advice. I'm so glad you brought that up. So one question that's on here is, so do we do IF a few days a week or for a full week at a time? What are your thoughts on that?
I suggest to people, I mean, I'm the type of person, if you're going to start something new, don't half-ass it. And I'm sorry, like I'm throwing curse words out there. Don't half-ass it, people. Go all in 7 days a week for a month. Give me 30 days. You are committed to this. It's not like I'm asking you to eat one meal a day. I mean, you know, so even if you want to drag it out to a 10-hour eating window, you can do that. But, you know, they say the most effective, efficient way to do it is 6 to 8 hour window. And that gives you the possibility of 3 meals. And so if you can do that for 30 days, 7 days a week, some of my clients are just the type that they travel a lot and they have kids and they, you know, we all make excuses. But some of those people are like, Sarah, I'm willing to give you 5 days, Monday through Friday. I'll bust it with the IF. And then can I have Saturdays and Sundays to kind of go on? And I tell them, yeah, that's fine. But at the end of 30 days, if you haven't had the results that you think you should have had, how are we going to ever know? You know, how are we going to know what it could have been if you would have done 7 days from the beginning? So really, it really is on the person. Everyone's going to be committed on a different level. So I'm the type of person, I really want to know. I want to see how my body is. I want to prove that science is right. You know, I want to see what it can do.
Me too. Know? Right.
So,
yes.
Yeah.
And I love that because you're a little more direct and more hardcore than I am. I'm a more like, well, tell me about your lifestyle and you can try it this way. But I really think moving forward, I'm just going to say, do it for 30 days. And, you know, if you need a day and you want to go out for brunch with your girlfriends, go for it. But get back on it the next day because I think you're right. I think when we drag it out too long, when we make excuses, because here's what I did. I got ready for, okay, this is what happened for me with IF. I committed to it for like 8 weeks because I had to get ready for a fashion show. And the fashion show had me wearing like a bathing suit. And I was postpartum and I was like, well, I mean, if that's not something to commit you right there, getting up on a stage, then I don't know what does. So imagine that in 8 weeks, you have to get up on a stage and just go for it as best as you can for your body type and for what your goals are and just go for it. Don't, you know, if you really, really want this, then you got to go all in. You can't, like you said, you can't half-ass it. And I think a lot of the times people think if they half-ass it, they can still get full-ass results. Does that even make sense? But, you know, you really can't. I mean, I always tell Billy, I'm like, I just shake my head. Like, you and I are just super committed. Like, but it's our lifestyle. Like, we live it, you know?
Yep.
Um, and people say, well, do you ever eat a donut? Well, yeah, I eat a donut. Well, do you ever have ice cream? Sure. But I don't have it. I don't really think about buying the ice cream at the store. I think about, oh, it's like, we're going to go and get frozen yogurt and I'm going to have whatever I want because I rarely have it. And I don't obsess about it. I don't get upset about it because I know that 90% of my nutrition is dialed in and my workouts are good. And so if I have a couple treats, you know, over the course of a week, it's not going to set me back. But it's a mindset. And speaking of mindset, and then I want you to talk about what you have going on tonight in Fit Body, I am doing a talk on mindset shifts that you need to make so you don't have the diet mentality for the rest of your life. Like the mindset shifts that need to happen for you to embrace this as a lifestyle and not as a, you know, short-term punishment. I need to get into this bathing suit. Help me, Jesus, get me there. Celery and water and cabbage. So I'm going to talk a lot about, because that's the first thing I did when I committed to this process was I did that mindset shift first of saying everything that I want to happen is going to happen in 60 to 90 days. And I accepted that. And I just did the do every day. And I didn't think too much about it. I didn't get caught up. And so that's what I'm talking about in Fit Body tonight. Tell everybody what you have going on. And if they want more information, they definitely need to be reaching out to you about what you have starting March 1st, because it's super cool. And I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to join.
Oh, I'm so excited. All right, you guys. So I have my business Facebook page, obviously, but I have decided, because I have so many people that I train online, I have so many in-home clients and clients that come to my facility. I have people all around. That's right, girl. Yes, let's all everyone put the gun emoji or the
give us
emoji down there. If you resistance train, give us your resistance training emoji that comes to mind. So I have decided to come up with a membership page. This is going to be a closed group, and it is going to be so much fun because every month there's going to be a new challenge. And what better to start off the first challenge is with intermittent fasting. So I will give you your game plan for intermittent fasting. I'm going to have this page up and running here in about 2 days. So if you guys are interested, it's going to be under $10 a month. So I'm going to give you free exercise routines that you can do in-home, in the gym, free recipes, demos, cooking demos. We're going to do Facebook Lives on what you are really suggesting that I do the topics on. So every Monday I'll open it up. Everyone, if you want to know and you want to pick my brain about, you know, this, that, or the other, it's on you. And I'll do live Q&As. I'm going to bring other professionals in. So Lisa, hopefully you'll be up for doing some lives and some other, you know, very good professionals. And, but I'm pretty much putting it in your court. So my members can tell me what they want from it, but we're all going to go through intermittent fasting together. If you want to do it, I mean, I'm not going to force anyone to do it, but that's the first thing. I'm going to give you your template and we can go through the process together. So I'm excited because I never practice or I never preach what I don't practice. So I'm going to have you guys do this. I'm going to do it as well. And if we are struggling and we are hungry, I want us to have this group as an accountability group too. So, you know, we can put things in there. We can ask for suggestions. It's a community. It's not just Sarah answering everything because everyone has such incredible knowledge. So I'm hoping that everyone's going to love that. And I want to do before and afters with the intermittent fasting because I want 30 days of commitment. And there's going to be some people in this group that don't want to do it, which is fine. But that is what I'm offering. So if you guys are interested in learning more, reach out to me. And then you'll see here in the next couple of days, I'll be promoting it a little bit more. But super excited.
Awesome.
And Lisa, I can't wait for you to join.
Oh yeah, me too. This is so exciting. And if you guys aren't following Sarah by this point, please go to her business page, Body Balance, and follow her, give it a like, and then be sure to friend her or follow her on Facebook. She is, I mean, I'm blown away by her knowledge and her excitement and her energy for what she does. She really has a heart for this. She's very good at it. And she cares about people. And I just love that. Like, I feel like I see a lot of fitness people out there, and I've been researching this stuff for so long, and Sarah truly comes from a place of servant leadership. Like, she wants to help people, And she herself walks the walk as she talks the talk. So you guys are going to be in really good hands. We're all going to go try this intermittent fasting with Sarah and her protocol. And I'm seeing some questions come in. And I think what we'll do is we'll come back afterwards and answer them, especially the one about glycogen repletion. I think that is a really good question. And that's something that my husband has kind of figured out. It's just using a supplement that he uses, a BCAA. That's what he uses post-workout. He chugs that stuff. I don't know if you want to come in and talk about that too. That would be awesome. But is there anything else you want to share?
I'm like, you are the supplement queen. There's a few things that I can promote, but yes, that's not my forte. I'm more, the internal science, but yes, you blow my mind with your knowledge on all of that. And then
thanks.
Same thing with all of my followers. If you have not started looking at her page, at Lisa Mustard's page, you need to follow her. And she is like the guru. And if only I'm a confident woman, but when you know how to exude it and how to get on Facebook Live and get excited and get the women excited about beauty and living their life. So yes, you are my role model too. So
well, I appreciate that.
Privilege. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, this has been so much fun. And so what we'll do is we'll come back later and we'll answer questions, and then maybe we'll do another one, right? As we get started with the group and kind of share our lessons and what people are going through. And I'm really excited. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. And I hope that you have an awesome rest of your Thursday wherever you are. And thank you for being here. So you guys take good care. I'm going to sign us off. And Sarah, I'll talk to you soon.
All right. All right.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye, you guys.